A big thing that everyone underestimates is that
small YouTube channels can lead to big opportunities.
It's extremely unsexy. It's extremely uninteresting, and no one wants to hear that it takes time, but it takes time.
This could be the key to you really experiencing breakthrough on YouTube this year. You want people to take your YouTube channel seriously, but you can't even post one video a week?
There's a lot you can learn from the biggest creators on YouTube, and we've gone ahead and collected all of the advice we possibly could to put it in one big video. There's a lot of stuff they share that I personally agree with, and then there's some things they share that I don't necessarily agree with, at least not fully. And there's one piece of advice I definitely don't agree with, and we'll get to that a little bit later on. For now though, let's get into the first big question that I think a lot of people out there have.
Why is it when you post a video, it gets hardly any views, whereas someone else posts a video on exactly the same topic and it gets tons of views? It's all to do with the algorithm, right? Well, no, actually. More often than not, it's about humans.
What YouTube wants is they want people to click on a video and they want to watch it. By studying the algorithm, you'll learn that you're more studying human psychology, right? What do humans want to watch? What do they find enjoying? Anytime you say the word algorithm, just replace it with audience, and it works perfectly. Like, the algorithm didn't like that video? No, the audience didn't like that video.
Thousands of videos and articles, and this includes from us, talk about how to beat the YouTube algorithm. The important thing to remember here though, and the thing that kind of gets lost in translation, is that the algorithm is not some scary robot that you can trick. Quite simply, it's just a recommendation system that's trying to help viewers on YouTube get the content that they want to see when they want to see it.
If people are clicking and watching, then it gets promoted more. And that's literally all the algorithm does, is reflect what the people want. To a T. And if you deny that, you just make terrible videos.
Well, I agree with that. We all want to make better videos, but how?
So I would suggest for the average channel in your first 6 months, aiming to make between 25 and 50 videos. And the first thing I will guarantee when you meet this quantity milestone is that you'll look back on your first video and say, geesh, it requires thousands of hours of practice, patience, and learning. But the difference is it's better to do all of this in public because you get so much feedback from it. And there are pretty much no penalties, especially when you're starting out your new channel, because you've got nothing to lose. Making these videos will help develop consistency, getting better at video production, optimizing your video content, such as the titles and thumbnails, learning what it takes to make quality videos. Making terrible videos will not destroy your channel if you're willing to learn along the way.
Just make 100 videos, improve something each time, and then talk to me on your 101st video.
Okay, but how do you improve something each time?
The second one, just, I don't know, put more effort into the script. The third one, try to learn a new editing trick. The fourth one, try to figure out a way that you can have better inflections in your voice. The fifth one, try to, study a new thumbnail tip and implement it. The sixth one, try to figure out a new title. There's infinite ways. That's the beauty of content creation online. There's literally infinite ways, from the coloring to the frame rate to the editing to the filming to the production to the jokes to the pacing, to every little thing can be improved, and they can never not be improved. There's literally no such thing as a perfect video.
I mean, of course, there is no perfect video, but I've seen countless channels, new channels, get really good views when they make really intentional content. They've done their research, they've hopped on to a good trend at the right time, and they're just great storytellers by nature. For example, I've talked to a creator that had a channel completely focused on 2 very specific games, Crash Bandicoot and Spyro.
What had happened was earlier that year, they had announced that Crash Bandicoot was coming back with the Insane Trilogy. Let's do a review. It was an absolute mishmash of just garbage. What had happened was that my channel was already established in the keywords Spyro Remastered and Spyro Remaster. So when that trailer dropped and people were looking for information, the first channel that was coming up was mine. So I did a live stream reporting on it live. And I remember as I was talking about it, the viewers started at like 27 and then 30, 40, 50, 100, 200, 300, 500 people were watching.
These are not the games that are on the forefront of people's minds, but they recognized that these games could eventually, and then of course one day did, get remakes. So they very intentionally were making content just hoping that these games would one day get remakes, because they saw some stuff out there with their research that kind of pointed to, hey, remakes of these games might happen. And then of course, they were one of the first channels that jumped on the trend as soon as it was announced that, hey, a new Crash Bandicoot's coming out. Hey, a new Spyro is coming out. It started with passion, and then because they had that passion, they knew exactly where to look for these potential trends. They did their research, they injected storytelling along the way, and then boom. I do love that Jimmy mentioned how there is no perfect video. After years of doing this myself, I'm still looking for ways to make my videos and your videos better. A lot of our videos on average perform at like a 5 to 6 out of 10 when they're first uploaded, so plenty of room for improvement. And I'll tell you right now, many people in this space, the YouTube growth space, will tell you firsthand there's only one thing you can do to improve those numbers.
Consistency.
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 If you want to grow your channel this year, is you have to figure out how to be consistent. School happens, work happens, life happens just in general. That's just part of the whole thing. So if you are going to be a YouTube content creator, what you have to do is you have to figure out how to work the process of creating and uploading videos into your lifestyle.
You want to think about building a system in terms of how can I generate as many ideas for content as possible? And then number 2, how can I kind of refine these ideas and turn them into titles and thumbnails and hooks? Number 3, how can I sort of create these videos in parallel? Number 4, how can I find pockets of time throughout the day where maybe, you know, I've got a 10-minute break at work or in my lunch break where I can plan out a video that's going to be pushed out several months in advance? How can I plan out my content calendar so that I actually only have to film once and I can batch film maybe 5 videos in a row?
Honestly, I get it. If you're going to take YouTube seriously, but you just so happen to have a full-time job or other life commitments, as I'm sure a lot of us do, then you need to have the discipline to have YouTube and content creation become a regular part of your day-to-day life. And even if you do, how do you know you're actually going in the right direction? Is it getting millions of views? Is it getting thousands and thousands of subscribers?
Even small YouTube channels can lead to big opportunities. So one of the things that people make a mistake of is they're too focused on vanity metrics. And so we think, and we have mistakenly defined success on YouTube as you got to get a silver play button, you got to get a gold play button. It's about getting as many views as possible. And I believe that's a flawed definition of success. Views or subscribers are not the only metrics for success. One of the underappreciated benefits of starting a YouTube channel is the connections and communities that you build with your audience. YouTube allows you to build a loyal and engaged following, which can lead to opportunities for monetization.
You've probably heard that your subscriber count has officially been deemed a vanity metric by me and a lot of people. Beyond those first 1,000 subscribers that helps you reach monetization via YouTube AdSense, does getting hundreds of thousands of subscribers really do anything for you at the end of the day? Many small channels can succeed and grow on YouTube, and it's happening every day. Sometimes you just need to think outside the box a little bit when it comes to how you get seen.
If you truly want to win on YouTube and rack up your watch time and get tons of views, you actually want to optimize your videos for suggested. For the longest time, I also thought that the most important thing was to rank on search, and even though that is helpful, where you really want to be at is suggested. And the reason why is because when we actually look at our analytics, the people who come through suggested actually watch videos for longer. And it's likely because they're already primed to watch those videos. Whereas the people who are just searching, they're really trying to search for a solution and they might be super impatient. And so the watch time is a lot less and the view duration is a lot less from people coming from search.
We've actually adopted this strategy over here on the vidIQ channel just over a year ago. If you take a look at our video titles, you'll notice that they are very, very rarely how-to videos, even though we are an education channel. I think instinctively, all of us as YouTubers keep a close eye on that subscriber number, despite all of us knowing it doesn't really matter. What we are interested in, though, is increasing our overall watch time. So not only is it about getting people to click on your title and your thumbnail, once they do, it's about keeping them there for as long as possible.
Your title and thumbnail set expectations, and at the very beginning of the video, to minimize drop-off, you want to assure them that those expectations are being met.
Number 2 is that you have to introduce new narratives or unclosed loops. So it's not enough, I think, in a really good YouTube intro to just affirm to the viewer this is what you wanted. You got to go a step further.
Describe or define an unclosed loop.
So an unclosed loop is opening a Story arc that makes the audience want to get the answer, basically, right?
The human mind needs loops to close, right? So like, here's a question. Okay, I want the answer to it.
Yep.
A really bad story will go like this. It'll go, this happened, then this happened, then this happened, then this happened. And you think like that's an extremely boring way to intake information.
Yeah.
And what you want is a story that goes, this happened, but then that happened. Therefore, this happened. So you want some causation between the beats in your story.
A big thing that everyone underestimates is what was your experience with your last video? If people loved the last video of yours that they watched, they're more likely to watch your next one. For the YouTubers watching this, when people watch your video, they go, okay, that was good, but like that's enough of you for the day. Like it was all right? Whereas what you want is them to go, holy crap, that was crazy. Oh my God, what's that? Holy crap, that was crazy. Oh my God. And they watch 10 videos. That's what you're going for.
So once you've reeled them in, you got to keep them on your channel. And how do you do that? A strong call to action.
What I always recommend is the strongest call to action is to watch another video. Because now all of a sudden your channel went from like, say 8 minutes of watch time to 16 minutes of watch time if they watch another one. And it shows that this person is in your little watch web. It also gives you another ad impression. Like that is the metric that YouTube cares about. Sure, you can ask them to comment. You can ask them to like, that's totally fine. But watching another video exposes them to more of your content and shows YouTube, I am a channel that keeps people on this platform for 16 minutes rather than just 8 minutes.
Now, I definitely agree with all of that, but it's probably about time we dig into the YouTube algorithm. However, it's kind of late, so I'm just going to leave the video right here, and you can get a complete guide on the whole thing.